Okay. The first process is rigging. Once the rigging is done, once the character setup is done, the next process is binding. So let us look into rigging first. Rigging is nothing but adding skeleton or creating skeleton for the characters. Once it is done, rigging is done, we have to give a lot of connection, then the binding part. So fine. Character rigging is also called as a character setup. It involves actions which are as follows: creating skeletons, creating IK handles, inverse kinematic handles, binding the skin into skeleton, setting up deformers and constraints. Okay. Object rigging. For example, what are the examples for object rigging? For example, there's a spaceship or a 3D car. Okay, the car, wheels has to rotate. There's a steering. You need an animation, the car animation. So though this is a 3D car, so we need to animate the car. It's an object. Spaceship. The spaceship has to land. The door has to open. So uh, those things, okay, you can consider those things as well. So normally, even a plain rig, plain animation, okay, you can consider. So whereas when it comes to character, it can be biped or quadruped. Biped stands for two-leg character. Quadruped stands for four-leg character. Okay, so we can do rigging for a bird. We can do rigging for a snake. So normally any animation you see, either it is a VFX animation or a 2D animation or 3D animation. Okay, 2D rendered animation. You can render 2D means a 3D model to look like 2D. Okay, so that's vector animation, that's called as. We'll see that later. But anyhow, um, for 3D animation, whatever you see, or VFX animation, whatever you see, wherever there is a character or animal or any living things, we need skeleton for that. Without skeleton, you cannot animate. Okay. Apart from deformers, there's something called deformer animation, which you see in animation. Apart from that, without rigging, we cannot animate any character. So object rigging is, mm, like ball bouncing or squash and stretch. There are certain things, so principles are there. Anyhow, in animation, when we start animation, and for the next module, we'll be starting with fundamentals of animation or principles of animation. We will see the 12 principles of animation and all. But before that, in rigging, also you will be learning certain things like object rigging. In this, what is parent constraint? There are many things are there in this. Okay, we'll see that. This is very important, hierarchy. Normally, what is hierarchy? What do you mean by hierarchy?
A hierarchy is something that it's like a pyramid from top to bottom. It's steps basically.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So here also, as I give an example, so your wrist bone, your elbow bone, and your shoulder bone. Okay. When I move the wrist bone, automatically your elbow moves up and your shoulder moves up, right? So there is a connection, there's a hierarchy. Okay. So it's like that here also. Entire skeleton building is it will be with an hierarchy only. In a proper rig, the bones and joints follow a logical hierarchy called skeleton hierarchy. You have to go through all the study materials, because based on this only you get theory exam. Okay. So I think this is one of the proper point. In a proper rig, the bones and joints follow a logical hierarchy called skeleton hierarchy. While setting up a skeleton hierarchy, the joint placed first is called the root joint. This is also very important. You might get this, okay, in exam. While setting up a skeleton hierarchy, the joint placed first is called root joint. Any skeleton has a single root joint. It is the highest joint in the skeleton hierarchy. Any skeleton has a single root joint. It is the highest joint in a skeleton hierarchy. For example, for a human, for a character, okay, it is called pelvis or COG, center of gravity we call, okay. That is a point, that is a root joint where it can control the entire body, okay. I'll just show you what it is. So normally this is a character. For the character we do the rig, okay. So here the center one curve will be there, okay, or else you can take an example. Here the center curve, this particular point is called the root one, okay. This is the root one. So we can work on this. Let's see. For example, this one, this center joint is an, or you can call this one, the center joint is the root one. So I'll let you know how to work with this and all. Okay. So let's see. So that's what I was referring to. Any skeleton has a single root joint. It is the highest joint in a skeleton hierarchy. Translating and rotating the root joints moves and orients the entire skeleton in space. If I select that particular point and if I move, translate or rotate, the entire joint structure will do that. It will rotate. The other joints will be connected to the root joint either directly or indirectly through another joint. Okay, so for example, here, this is a root joint. If I select and if I move, my entire character will move. So if I move this automatically, either this joint or this joint, this joint, this joint, any joint, okay, it has to move along with that. Okay, so that's the capability. Joints are of two types, parent and child. Again, I'll come to this, parent and child. When I create this, then I'll be creating this, then I'll be creating this joint. So my first joint will be parent. When I select the other one, this is the child of this, this is the child of this. Then for this, you tell me for shoulder, which one is the child in that case? For this joint, which one is the child? So it will be this joint.
Will be the one, yes.
Yeah. For this joint, this guy is a parent and this is the child. And this is the parent, this is the child. That's how it goes. Okay. And whereas here, this is the parent, this is the child. Whereas here, this one. So this becomes child of this root joint. This sphere is a child for this, and this is a child for this. That's how it goes. Okay. The connection goes like this. You will learn this. Okay. Okay. Here is a simple example. In a skeleton hierarchy, a parent is defined as the joint that controls other part. Your shoulder controls elbow and elbow controls child. Okay. And even your shoulder can control your arm also, child 2 also. So whereas here this has been mentioned as parent 2. Parent 2 is elbow. Elbow can control arm. Okay, it's like that. A child is defined as a joint that is controlled by the parent. Okay. Now let's discuss about bones and joint. Joints and bones are the basic building blocks of skeletons. Joints helps in transforming a skeleton while posing and animating it. Each joint has more than one bone and more than one child attached to it. Example is this. Each joint has more than one bone or one extra bone, okay, or joint attached to it. So now bones. Bones have no nodes and therefore no physical presence in the scene. They serve as a visual connectors between joints, indicating the parent and child joints. So normally when we work with, when we create hierarchies with joints, automatically that's considered as bone only. whereas that won't be visible in the physical. Okay, but when we work with node, you can see that that's a node editor. We can see that later. Now this is another part which is very important for animation. Kinematics. Kinematics is nothing but motion. Okay, movement. Kinematics is defined as the study of how things move when forces act on them. Okay, so I want to assume, okay, let's do a simple exercise. You guys are sitting now, right? Okay, just unmute, both of you unmute. Okay, you are
Yes.
sitting now. Okay, now slowly, okay, you stand up, move the chair aside, slowly you stand up. Okay, so now your, so the weight of your body is equally fallen on both of the legs, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Equal. Okay,
Yes.
so try to stretch, try to make sure in between your legs, there's 1 feet gap. Okay, you stand something like that, just 1 feet gap, or 1.5 feet is also fine. Okay, now observe, okay, the pelvis part is this. Again, I'm saying your hip part. This part is the main part, which is called cog, C-O-G, that is called center of gravity. Okay, you have to notice this part. Now rise your right leg. When you rise your right leg, automatically the entire weight moves towards left, right?
Yes.
Your entire body weight moves towards left because you are standing on one line, means one left leg. Now observe,
Mhm.
left leg to your left shoulder or neck. Left leg to your neck, it is on a straight line. Your left shoulder has moved towards left side, right? Why? Because
Yeah.
this particular cog, it will help this spine. Now the spine and all, it has come towards right. Now this entire spine till the head part has come towards right, when you lift this.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Yes, sir.
now you can stand freely. There's another example I'm gonna tell you. Now this particular circle is wrist, this is elbow, and this is shoulder. Okay, where's that image? Okay, wrist, elbow, shoulder. Okay,
Yes.
now stretch your hand, means towards in front of you, or side. No, front is fine, either ways work, but anyhow, front. Stretch your hand like this, let it be straight, your right hand. Okay, from your left hand, hold the wrist joint, and move towards your chest. Hold the wrist joint and move towards your chest. Now observe, you are directly moving wrist joint, but
Mm.
your elbow joint automatically move towards back. This is called inverse kinematics, indirect movement of a joint. You did not move your elbow. Okay, right? You did not move, right? Now you moved
Yes.
only for your wrist, like not forearm. It's a wrist. From your left hand, you pulled, your wrist joint towards your chest. So automatically, the position of the elbow has changed. The translate x-axis or y-axis or z-axis or rotate of your elbow joint has changed. So this is called inverse kinematics. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
inverse kinematics works for translate. Translate is nothing but position x, y, z axis. Translate is movement. You know the difference between translate, rotate, and scale, right? These are the basic fundamentals in Maya. You might
Mhm.
know this, okay? Or you
Yes.
don't know.
We know, sir.
Great. Okay. So this is inverse kinematics. There's another thing called forward kinematics. Okay. Same exercise. Um, you know, let your hands be straight. Okay. Let it look front. So now your shoulder joint, assume you have a you have this one. Okay, assume your rotation, not x, not w, e, r, it is e. Make sure your assume this kind of pivot point. Okay, there's a pivot point on the rotation, means on your shoulder joint. Just think, there is a
A rotation.
rotation pivot point in on your shoulder and elbow and wrist. Only rotation is there. There won't be any translate. So you rotate your shoulder joint to little bit upside, so that automatically your elbow and wrist both went up, right?
Hmm.
Now you
Yes.
rotate
Yeah.
only the elbow towards left. Now rotate elbow towards left. Your shoulder joint is there only your elbow rotated, right? Now you rotate
Yes.
your wrist part. Your elbow and shoulder is over there. Only your wrist is rotating. Okay. So this is called forward kinematics. Okay. This is the example. In actual, while we do rigging, you will learn even more. Okay. So you can settle now. Sit down.
Thank you, sir.
And another very important exercise, what you have to do is, whenever means you're walking outside or you go for a shopping mall or a grocery shop, just keep observing people. Okay, you need to observe a lot. Let's say, for example, a kid. How does a kid walk? How does an adult walk? Or how does an old man or old woman walk? Everyone's walk cycle is different. It is not the same. Okay, and a female walk and a male walk, there is a lot of difference. There's a lot of hip movement is there in the female walk, and whereas in the male walk it is so stagnant. Okay, so many things are there, you have to observe. And always just consider, if someone is walking, assume there is a curve on the hip, on the shoulder part, or on what axis it is rotating. Because the more you observe, you can do a better animation. Actually, that's how it is. Okay, so I'll anyhow see this rigging. Why I'm saying I'm talking about animation in rigging, because it's all linked. To do animation, rigging is the main part. Rigging and animation both are completely interlinked. Okay. Kinematics is defined as the study of how things move and forces act on them. Animation of a rig involves figuring out of the angles in which each joint moves. This is what I was saying now. Assume there is a curve for the characters. Whoever comes to Pick and Pay or somewhere, like whenever you're working, assume this kind of curves are there. You just see how these curves are moving. Okay. And we walk, or whatever action we do, you just your index finger, just bend all other fingers except index finger. Let you point that towards your eye, or you just rotate, you just bend your finger and see. Okay, what type of movement it is happening. You just bend your finger and see what type of movement is happening. It forms C, the letter alphabet C, because it's curvy, right? Or no?
Yes,
You
sir.
just keep bending and see your finger, it forms a C. So not only this, you rotate your neck. Okay, it's another arc. Our entire body moves in a form or in a shape of arc. There won't be a straight line, there won't be a cuts and all. It is an arc only. Our body movement, not only ourselves, any living things, it movement of a living things, it forms an arc. Okay. There are two types of kinematics, namely forward kinematics and inverse kinematics that we have seen. What is forward kinematics? Let's see that. Walk motion of a biped character can be animated by applying both FK and IK. So there are short terms has been mentioned. FK stands for forward kinematics, IK for inverse kinematics. Applying FK to a biped character involves working with angles of joints directly to achieve a specific position. Move joints, each joints individually in forward kinematics, for example, shoulder, elbow, wrist. It was moving individually. Start with the base joint at the top of the hierarchy and down to the child joints. Applying IK to biped character, move the last joint in hierarchy, all other joints follow automatically. You will get to see the example. So assume this is the thigh, this is the knee, this is the heel, and this is the toe joint. When you lift the heel joint, automatically your knee joint goes front. Okay, so it's like that. So first move the hip joint forward, then rotate the thigh forward, then rotate the knee joint. This is for FK. Okay, forward kinematics, everything you need to rotate manually. Then rotate knee joint to get a proper pose. Lastly, rotate ankle joint. This is where you can create a poses of legs to animate walk, to do walk cycle. Whereas IK is different, inverse kinematics is different. You raise the ankle joint or heel joint, automatically there will be a movement for this knee. To animate walk motion using IK, simply grab the foot handle and move it around. Automatically you get a movement. The hip, thigh joint, knee joint, and ankle joint will all rotate accordingly. In an IK rig, inverse kinematic rig, joints are connected by IK solvers. Great, this is another terminology called solver. Okay, I'll explain you in detail of the solver. What is solver? When we can create, we need to create joints. Then we need to add an IK handle from here to here. You get a IK solver. I will say that. Okay. The number of IK solver depend on the number of joints. A second hierarchy of joints cloud be set up to control the main hierarchy. So more of technical term, it might definitely get confused, but not to get confused. That's what I say. So you need to understand basics, especially in rigging. Okay, then only you understand the proper rigging part. So animating using FK and IK have certain advantages and disadvantages as well. What are the advantages? FK rig is easily exported, tweaking or adding characters or emotions to the movement are done easily. Disadvantages: this is time consuming. The feet might slide on the ground or sink into the float or the air. In the air, movements do not look natural. In FK animation, forward kinematics animation, IK, it's very fast, avoids problem like slipping or sinking or floating of the feet to the ground or the basement which we have created. Exporting is pretty challenging, but nowadays it's all simple, it's all easy. Okay, so this is a skeleton.
Yes.
Like a skeleton is a hierarchical and articulated structure that allows posing and animating models. The number and the location of the joint in a skeleton determine the body movement. Spine rotation you require. So definitely we need 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 joints definitely required for the spine. It's not a straight bend. It's not a cut. When you bend, when you bend your spine, there's an arc. Whatever movements you perform, it's an arc. So we should not get any cut pieces like that. Okay. So the more than one child can be created from a single parent. This branching in skeleton allows creating hierarchies complex enough to correspond to complex model using in an animation. So anyhow, I have shared this, study material. You guys have to go through this. While constructing a skeleton, it is important to remember appropriate naming of the joints. This is very, very important. Labeling. This is called labeling. You need to name the joint. Knee means knee. Hip means, and thigh means thigh, like that. Parent-child relationship, root joint expansion. All these things we need to do. So setup and significance. So this and all is an animation part, like you need to rig the character in the T pose only. This is called T pose. When both the hands are stretched and the leg is, stretched between legs, there's 1.5 feet gap. This is called T pose. Okay. So when we create rig setup for this, all the joints are set to 0. Okay. Then we can, the rig part is really simple. The starting pose is called the bind pose, wherein the rotation and transformation values of the joints are set to 0. The most common bind pose used for humanoid characters are the T pose or Y pose. T pose and the Y pose. Let it be. This is T pose. Okay. So this is Y pose. Y pose is, like the hand will be bent bit in 45-degree, like that. The person stand erect with arms outstretched. Advanced prevents overlapping of parts. Simplified application of skin. Skinning will be simple with this method. Serves as the middle pose. Avoid too much deformation. Disadvantages: skin is bunched up at the shoulders. So, can you connect again once this um, call ends, Lindelwa? Let us complete this. Okay, you guys can connect again once it is ended. So I pose. The person stand direct with the arms out at 45-degree angle. Advantage: a more natural pose. Offers all the advantages of T pose. No bunching of skin at the shoulder. So skinning will be simpler here at the shoulder part. Aligning joints. Improper alignment of joints gives the arms a broken appearance. A special care need to be taken in case of rotating joints. So if one joint is here, another joint has to be here, not upside of the elbow. It has to be here. We need to move this bit down or below. This has to be here.